Okay, so in the previous video, we have solved some of the A part questions. Now let's see some of the previous year's B part questions, and I'll just brief through the method to solve those problems. Okay, so let's consider this question. The pole zero plot of a system is shown in figure 1. So the pole zero plot in S domain is given. Obtain the differential equation model of the system. Okay, so you are given with the S plane representation. You have poles and zeros. There are two poles here. One is here. There is one pole here, and there is one zero here. Okay, so those are the three things you can find. Obtain the differential equation model of the system, and B part is obtain the unit step response of the system represented in figure 1. So how to do this? So what you need to do is you must write the poles and zeros. So what are the poles? So let me try to write it here. Poles are S equal to, what is the pole location? It is -3. So pole location, it is -2. Real part is -2 and imaginary part is +3 and -3. So the pole locations are -2 plus J3, and the second pole location is -2 minus J3. What is the zero location? Zero location is S equal to -1. Correct? Fine. So since we have poles and zeros, what will be the transfer function? So we can write the transfer function y of s by the output y of s divided by x of s, as numerator will have the polynomial due to the 0, which is s plus 1, and the denominator will be the polynomial due to the poles. So you will have s plus 2 minus J3. So this is one pole. The second pole is s plus 2 plus J3. Okay. Now how to multiply this? So there is an easy way to multiply this. So please listen to this carefully. So if you look at the denominator, you have s plus 2 in both terms, and the second term in one it is minus J3, other it is plus J3. So it is of the form a plus b, or a minus b into a plus b, a plus b into a minus b, where a is s plus 2 and b is J3. So what is a plus b into a minus b? It is a square minus b square. Okay, so let's talk about the denominator alone. So denominator, we have a plus b into a minus b form, which is a square minus b square. So ultimately it becomes s plus 2 the whole square, which is a, minus b is J3. So it is J3 the whole square. So what is this? It is s square plus 4s plus 4 minus j square is -1. So it becomes plus. J square is -1. So minus and minus becomes plus. 3 square is 9. So the denominator polynomial becomes s square plus 4s plus 13. Correct? And hence y of s by x of s becomes, so let me write once again, y of s by x of s, y of s by x of s equal to s plus 1 divided by, what is the denominator? S square plus 4s plus 13. Now, if you have the transfer function, how to find the differential equation? What you need to do is you need to cross multiply and take the inverse Laplace transform. Okay, so if you cross multiply, you will have s square plus 4s plus 13 into y of s equal to s plus 1 into x of s. And if you take the inverse Laplace transform, and you can you can assume that the initial conditions are 0. So if initial conditions are 0, if you take the inverse Laplace transform, it becomes y double dot, which is the second derivative, plus 4y dot plus 13y equal to x dot plus x. Okay, so this is the differential equation representation of this system. So that is A part. Now what is the B part? B part, it is asking obtain the unit response of the system. Okay, so it is for 7 marks. So in order to obtain the unit response of the system, what you need to do is you need to put this x of s, which is the input, x of s equal to 1 by s. So you put this is equal to 1 by s. You find y of s. What is y of s? So y of s, if you write, it will be s plus 1 divided by s into s square plus 4s plus 13. Okay, so this is the Laplace transform of output. And in order to find the step response, you need to take the inverse Laplace transform. So y of t is equal to, L inverse y of s. So these are the steps involved in finding the step response of the system. Okay, so I hope this is clear. Now let's discuss about question 4. Obtain the differential equation representation of the circuit shown in figure 2. So this is something you have studied in circuits and network. What you need to do is, if you have an inductor, you write it as Ls. And if you have a capacitor, you write it as 1 by Cs. And 1 by Cs. Once you have this, so resistance can be written as 10 itself. And then you write the KVL for these equations, which will be in Laplace domain. Then you can convert it similarly, or directly you can write the differential equation as well. Okay, so if you are comfortable with that, that is also fine. Then so B part is using Laplace transform, solve the differential equation obtained above, and get the voltage across the capacitor. Assume all initial conditions are 0. So the method is, once you have the transfer function, you can find the expression for a voltage across the capacitor, and you obtain the voltage across capacitor, maybe Vc of s, in Laplace domain, and then you take the inverse Laplace transform to find the voltage across the capacitor. So this is the method to solve question number 4. So let me check if I have some more questions. Okay, so I have 2 more questions here. Question 1. So this is a fairly straightforward question. A continuous time linear time invariant system is described by this expression, which is a differential equation expression. Determine the impulse response and step response given the initial condition y of 0 is -2, y dash of 0 is 0. Okay, so this is fairly straightforward. What you need to do is take the Laplace transform of the differential equation and apply the initial conditions, get the transfer function of the form y of s by u of s. Y of s by x of s. Okay, so this is equal to some function of s. So numerator, which is of s, divided by denominator of s. Okay, so this can be obtained by taking the Laplace transform of differential equation and applying. So don't forget to apply the initial conditions. If you forget to apply initial conditions, you will get a different a different transfer function. So once you have this, first you need to find the impulse response. So in order to find the impulse response, what will you do? You will take x of s as 1, which is the that means the impulse input is taken as the impulse. So Laplace transform of impulse is 1, and hence you can take x of s equal to 1, and using that find y of s, and take the Laplace inverse of y of s to find the impulse response y of t. So that is first case. What about the second case? In second case, you have to find step response. So in order to find step response, you need to take x of s as 1 by s, which is the Laplace transform of unit step, and the same procedure repeats. But it is little more involved to find the inverse Laplace transform. So you must be comfortable with finding the Laplace transform and inverse Laplace transform. So here also you find y of s and take the inverse Laplace transform to find the step response. So that is question 1. Now question 2, for the following system described by differential equation, find the impulse response if the system is, or check if the system is stable and causal. Okay, so here the question is you need to find the impulse response and check. So there is one part here, check if the system is stable and causal using impulse response, or maybe by using the transfer function itself you can say whether the system is stable or not. Okay, so what you need to do is you take the Laplace transform of this differential equation, obtain the expression of y of s by x of s, and here also it is given that assume initial conditions as 0, so you can take the initial condition 0 and obtain the transfer function. Now in order to find the impulse response, take x of s as 1. Find y of s, take the inverse Laplace transform to obtain the impulse response. Now how to check if the system is stable or not? So you can check directly from the transfer function. For stability, you just check whether the locations of poles. Okay, so for stability, you check the pole locations, and if it is on the left half of S plane, it is stable. And for causality, you check whether the numerator polynomial, the degree of numerator polynomial and degree of denominator polynomial. If the degree of numerator is greater than the degree of denominator, then it is non-causal. So you just check whether the degree of numerator is less than or equal to degree of denominator. If that is the case, then the system is causal. Okay, so here I think yeah, it is a causal system because the degree of numerator is 2 and degree of denominator is 2, I think. So you can work out this and find the transfer function to check that. Okay, so that is all. Any more questions? Let me check if some other questions are there. Okay, this we have done, this we have done. Okay, this question, how will you determine the stability of a system from its transfer function? That I have already explained. Comment on the stability of the following system. What you need to do is check the pole locations, and if the pole locations are on the right side, it is definitely unstable. It is on the, if it is completely on the left side, it is absolutely stable. If it is on the imaginary axis, check whether repeated poles are coming on the imaginary axis. If there are repeated poles, it is unstable. Otherwise, it is stable. Draw the pole zero plot of the following function in S domain, hence find the time domain response. So you can find the poles and zeros. There are no zeros here. There are 3 poles. So you solve the denominator to get the poles, and hence find the time domain response. So time domain response, it is not specified whether it is step or impulse response. So you can find the step response. So write this as f of s as y of s by x of s, and take x of s as 1 by s to find the step response. Okay. So I hope you got a brief idea of the types of problems for module 2. So please work out variety of problems, especially related to ROC. If you are given with some signal, how to find ROC. If you are given with Laplace transform with ROC, how to find the inverse Laplace transform. Okay. So thank you.